to have you back with me again. I've got a couple of videos that are pretty much ready to go. The one that I'm just going to put up here now is a much shorter video, and probably a little bit of just mucking around with things I've been doing here, trying to make a little bit more room and get a little bit more organised. And I've got that. Then there's just a little bit of footage that I've had sitting there that I've put in there just to do a bit more panel work. Unfortunately, like I said, I've probably been probably close to 5 weeks now. I've hardly put any time in on the car because I've had other things going. There was that bathroom renovation that I said that I had to assist with, which is pretty much, I think, in a spot now where they can finish it off without my help now. It just needs to be grouted, and maybe they'll need a bit of a hand putting the silicone in around the edges, but yeah, hopefully that's not going to take up too much more of my time and I can get back to concentrating on the car. But I tell you what, you know, I think I mentioned in one of the other videos that some of the stuff I had to do, I had the split air conditioner system being fitted in my office there behind me, and it was going on the back wall of the shed, and the shed had all mildew all over it, so I had to get in and spent, you know, half a day blasting all the mildew off that. And while I was going, I thought, well, I might as well do the front of the shed as well, because it was looking a bit drab, because I think a while back my son blasted off one of his trucks, and there was sort of splatter left on the front. And so I got in and I did the whole front of it, and I tell you what, wouldn't you know, about 1 or 2 days later, a bat flies past and there's this massive bat crap on the front of the shed where I just blasted it all down. And you know, there was none of that. It was just a bit of mildew and a bit of dirt before, but I reckon that bat was sent by Satan himself. So anyway, I'm probably prattling on a bit much. As I say, there's, you know, not a bit of mucking around in this video, but hopefully it'll keep you entertained for, you know, it's only a short one, and then I'll try and get the next video up as soon as I can. Thanks for watching, and don't forget at the end to like and subscribe. Well, today I don't know how much I'm going to get done on the car. I'm going to change the spark plugs on that beastie, and I'm going to change the oil on my mower, which is way overdue. And the other thing I want to do, I've actually had a split system put in my little office, so I want to get rid of that horrible thing that sits there in the way. I've also made an executive decision. I'm going to remove that wall in front of the car there, which will give me another 3.5 meters. There's a bed in there, and basically I had that sort of set up as living quarters when I was building the house. I used to just camp out here on the weekends and things when I was working. And so I think it's time to pack the bed up and utilise the space. And if I can get all that done, then I want to start looking at getting the engine mounts, the chassis mounts that are in that photo that you might not be able to see too well. I'll put a photo up. So that's today's effort. Air conditioner is now removed from the window, and the wall is now gone, opening that right up. Unfortunately, I haven't finished. I've started to put the wall there. I'll probably just put another section going to the edge of the timber floor there, and that way on those cold days I can fire up the fireplace there and warm this little area up. Anyway, the day is done. I've got places to be and things to do, unfortunately. Opening that right up, giving me a lot of room. So I've moved the engine and the gearbox in there. You'll see the gearbox is on the stand that I made up the other day. That's an old seat base that actually allows it to be lowered and raised about 6 or 7 inches. I have contemplated whether to put a longer bar underneath that so that it could be up at full height for using underneath a car hoist. So whether that's a prospect, I don't know, but for the moment it's just really handy that I can just actually wheel that around anywhere I want to, because you know what it's like. I seem to spend so much time, I move things from one area to another, I put them somewhere and then I think, oh, they're in the way there and I want to move it. I've also bought a stack of these storage containers. I seem to just have bits and pieces sort of laying everywhere, and I just want to try and get everything put into some sort of an order. And you'll see I've actually got the old bed that I pulled apart sitting there. I want to get it on the mezzanine floor upstairs. And over here, that blue container there, it doesn't really belong in that rack. I thought I might try and see if it'll fit, but it doesn't quite fit. But I've got about 8 or 9 of those, and they would be really good to put some of the car parts in and have everything marked. So I think I'm going to buy a heap of tube box steel and make up some good storage for, you know, it's just, you can never have enough storage, it would seem. I've also bought a heap more downlights, the LEDs. I want to be able to light this whole area up a bit. I'll probably put a bench maybe against that wall, and it'd be good to have some lights down over the bench. I've got that bench over there which is actually on wheels, so I'll do another one on wheels, but it just seems, like I say, I only tidied that bench up a couple of weeks ago and now it's got stuff laying all over it again. So like I say, you can just not have enough storage, good storage space. And I've bought a couple more packets to put all my nuts and bolts in. So one of these days I'm going to get nicely organised with everything, have a spot for everything and everything in its spot. Well, it's been overcast and wet for a few days, not really good weather for painting or doing anything. I suppose that's to be expected when you go and buy a can of paint. But anyway, I've been continuing just to tidy up some things along the edge of the roof here, where I had to remanufacture my drip rail and weld it in place. So I've just been doing that. I'm going to have to go and buy some proper sanding instruments and sandpaper to tidy this up properly. The other thing you'll notice, I've marked on the roof. Obviously someone had been jumping up and down on the roof at some stage. I've got some pencil lines around some dents that I'm going to have to look at all the way along there, which is a bit of a shame, but anyway, it's nothing too difficult to fix. And there's another one on the front in the middle. There's a bit of a thing that needs to be taken down there. Well, I'm just trying to do something with some of the creases that are in this roof, where I'd say kids have probably jumped on the roof or something. So I've got this solid little dolly that I'm putting up underneath, and then the spoon dolly giving the ridges of these creases a bit of a tap. I've just tried this one here and it seems to have actually made quite an improvement. One of the things I've just got to be careful, sometimes I think I tend to want to bash it a bit harder than it needs to be bashed, and I know I've found some things that I've done where I've taken the dents too far the other way. So I'm just putting a bit of pressure up underneath there. That's actually made quite an improvement there, just with that light bit of a hit. Like I say, I'm no expert, I'm just learning as I'm going, and I've been watching quite a lot of others try to find the blokes that seem to know what they're doing online and have a look at what they're doing. that's made quite an improvement. Thought it was going to be more difficult than that, but it seems to be coming up all right. Well, I've been so busy with work this week, not much has happened on the little car, but this morning I went out and bought an array of sandpaper, 40 grit, 80 grit, and 120 I think it is. I'm not sure if I'm going to need to go anything finer than that. And I got this good little, it's not really a sanding block, is it? But this board that holds the sandpaper, that should be good for when I go back and finish what I started the other day. Well, we'll leave it there for this one, and we'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.